profiles people, places, and events in Arvada.
We saw the miners, we saw smiles on their faces.
In this segment, we join Arvadan Jeff Hart, who had a major role in the rescue of 33 Chilean miners trapped below ground for 69 days.
It seemed at one point like you were saying, come on, baby, come on, baby. What was it like to finally break through?
You know, it's overwhelming.
Day and night, the world watched the gripping drama of 33 Chilean miners trapped below ground. But for Arvadan Jeff Hart, it was a personal drama. He drilled the hole that brought the miners to freedom.
Okay, they're pulling it up right now.
Here we go.
Hart, who works for the Lane Christensen Company of Aurora, was in Afghanistan drilling water wells for the U.S. military when the call came to go to Chile.
It was good because we had 40 hours of plane rides to set and talk about strategy and how we would do this and problems we may encounter. And so at that time, it really hadn't sunk into us that we were really going to a mine rescue.
3 different drilling strategies were underway. Hart's was Plan B.
The 3 different methods: you have a mining rig, which was Plan A, a water well rig, which was Plan B, and an oil field rig, which was Plan C. We thought we had the best method to drill, and the other 2 would be slower, in our opinion. Pilot hole was already into the mine. At that point, that was one of the 3 that actually intersected the mine, and so at that point we just came up with the ideas of opening them up to a 12-inch hole, and then from a 12-inch to a 28.
When they arrived at the mine, they went right to work executing their plan.
It was very somber walking onto that ground knowing that there's 33 guys trapped down there that can't get out.
Hart and 3 others with him worked in 16 to 18-hour shifts around the clock, sleeping in bunk beds at the mine. When drilling, Hart was always on his feet.
Drilling is a feel, so you have to actually be standing on the rig to where you can feel what's going on. There's good vibrations and bad vibrations. That's how you know whether your bits are coming apart or they're cutting edge is actually gone. And if you run a bit too long, then it gets undersized, and so your next one won't go to bottom.
For the first time in his career, his ability to feel those vibrations could save lives, adding enormous pressure to his task.
It was an incredible amount of stress because in a normal water well, if you're a day behind or you have a problem, it's not life or death. In this case, at any given day, one of those guys could have gotten sick and it could have been an issue, and so we really put the stress on ourselves to get this out, to get this taken care of so these guys can get out healthy. And so it was unbelievable amount of stress for sure.
The trapped miners stayed in shape and kept busy too, carrying away the tailings from the drilling operations.
28-inch hole, 2,000 feet deep is a lot of cuttings. That's a big pile. So they had room to push it too up in one of the mine shafts, and so they just kept pushing it off.
The rock was more difficult to drill than they expected, and there were other obstacles.
262 meters, we hit a roof beam from one of the shafts, and it actually broke our bit. And so we had the face of the bit laying in the bottom of the hole, which we can't drill through because it's as hard as the steel we're drilling with. So you can't drill through it, you have to get it out. And so that created a big obstacle. It took us 5 days to fish that out.
When they finally broke through with the 28-inch hole, Hart and his team returned to Santiago to watch the actual rescues along with the rest of the world.
The first night when we were sitting there watching and everybody watched the same thing as a live feed, the capsule actually came into the mine and it had a rescue worker in it that was able to get out. That was huge because we knew now the passageway was open and it would work all the way to the mine. That was a huge sigh of relief. Now the first guy up, we had kind of planned on, okay, this was going to be our celebration time, but it really wasn't. We sat in a room together, the 3 of us, and just kind of shook our heads thinking we were really part of something like this and it's actually working. This is fantastic. So it was a very somber mood.
Big smile.
Returning home to Arvada, Hart shared his story with students at his son's school. Wanting to make it relevant, he explained that the hole he drilled was twice as high as the Empire State Building in New York City, and that the skills he relied on included science and math.
I think it's important that the kids know that, what they're learning today is applied the rest of their lives, and it's important that they know that and study hard, because you never know when you're going to need to use it.
Hart's wife Dora says the family is so proud of Jeff.
It's been a roller coaster ride. You know, you've had every emotion going on, from the highs of the highs to the lows. I mean, it's been a huge range of emotions, but it's been good, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad Jeff was a part of it. It's an honor, you know, so.
As for Hart himself,
I hope we never have to do this again. This mine rescue was, everybody's calling it the most difficult in history, and whether it is or not, I don't know. They were extremely deep, and there was a lot of them. So let's just hope we don't have to do that again. But yes, this was absolutely the most important thing anybody could do at work.